Hello, everyone. My name is Alyssa Yanello. I'm one of the librarians here at the John J. Wright Library at La Roche University. Today, I will be providing a quick overview of MLA citations and formatting. If you have any questions after watching this presentation, please feel free to reach out to me at alyssa.yanello@laroche.edu. The first thing I am going to cover today is a quick overview of the major paper formatting rules within MLA. Firstly, all text within an MLA paper should be double-spaced in 12-point Times New Roman font, including the introductory information found at the top of the page. The header includes your last name and the page number, beginning with page 1. Both your name and the page number should appear on every page of your paper on the top right. Next comes the information found on the left-hand side here: your first and last name, your professor's name, the course number, and the date of the paper. Dates in MLA are written in day, month, and year order, and you do not abbreviate the month in this section. The title should be centered in title case, meaning every major word is capitalized, and you do not bold, underline, or italicize this title. As it says here, this is an example of a block quote, which is required for any quotes longer than 4 lines. There are no quotation marks used when completing a block quote, and they are started on a new line, indented ½ inch from the margin of the page. The parenthetical citation follows the concluding punctuation mark. For your works cited page, you will begin on a new page. Center the title Works Cited at the top of the page in title case. References follow alphabetical order and are double-spaced. They also require a hanging indent, which you can have done automatically for you in most word processors. Now I will provide an overview of the most common MLA citations you may make. One helpful tip that I would like to share is that you should not wait until the end to write all of your citations, but rather do each one as you find each source. That way, you will have it on hand as you write your paper, and you will not have a large number of citations to do before you can turn in your work. It will save you a headache later on down the road. First, we will cover how to format author names in your works cited page. When there is only one author of a work, write the last name, a comma, and then the first name of the author. When there are 2 authors listed, you will write the first author's name as previously stated, followed by a comma, the word and then the first name and last name of the second author. You will list the authors in the order they appear on the title page. When there are 3 or more authors, you will list the last comma first name of the first author, followed by another comma, then the phrase et al. There is only a period after the al portion of this abbreviation. This phrase signifies to the reader that there are more authors who contributed to this resource, but they are not listed in this reference. If you have a reference which includes a group or corporate author, including government agencies or other organizations, you treat the publishing organization the same way you would treat an individual author's name. If the author and publisher would be the same, skip the author information and list the title first. Then list the corporate author as the publisher only. Finally, you may come across material that does not have a listed author, especially if you are citing reference materials such as dictionaries and encyclopedias. In this case, you will start with the title of the work at the beginning of your reference. Next, we will go over how to write citations for specific types of references. The first type we will cover are book citations. These citations are fairly simple and only require a few pieces of information. All citations start with the author, formatted as previously mentioned, and followed by a period. Next is the title of the book, in italics and in title case, again followed by a period. Next, we include any edition information. If you are citing an ebook, you would also note that information here with a capital E-book, followed by a comma. The next piece of information, if applicable, is the city of publication. This only needs to appear in your citation if the book was published before the year 1900, if the publisher is unknown in America, or if the publisher is located in more than one country. Most times, you will just omit the city of publication information and skip to the publisher. The publisher is found on the title page of a book, and that is followed by a comma. Finally, you list the publication date, ending the entire citation with a period. And here's an example of a book citation. Sometimes you would like to cite only a specific article or chapter from a book. There are just a few more pieces of information you need to include in your citation if that's the case. Again, the author name is formatted the same way as before. Next comes the title of the chapter or article in quotation marks and in title case, followed by a period. Next, you must include information on the book and its editors. List the title of the book as normal, followed by a comma. Then include the words edited by and list the editor or editors' names. First, then last name, followed by a comma. Next comes the publisher and publication date, which is formatted as we mentioned before. And this citation type is concluded with a page range information. Page numbers are preceded with the abbreviation lowercase pp period, and then the page range itself, with a dash between the numbers. A note for page range information. MLA requires writers to list page numbers efficiently when applicable. This means, for example, if you are referencing an article that appears on pages 225 through 250, you would list your page numbers in the work cited as pp period 225-50. And here is an example of a completed citation. The next citation type we will cover is an online scholarly journal article. This citation is only for articles found on websites, not for articles found on online databases. That citation type will be covered later. The citation starts again with the author, formatted as we mentioned before. Next, the title of the article appears in quotation marks, in title case with a period ending. Next appears the title of the journal or publication in italics, also in title case, and this is followed by a comma. The next pieces of information are the volume and issue numbers. For volume information, precede the volume number with the abbreviated lowercase vol period, and then the number itself, followed by a comma. The issue number is preceded by the abbreviation NO period, the number, and a comma as well. The date appears next. When you're citing a scholarly journal, you only need to include the year of publication, and that is followed by a comma. Page numbers appear as we formatted before, the same way. And then you will list the URL or other location information for the article. You do not include the HTTPS part of the URL for online scholarly journal articles. This section is concluded with a period. The final piece of information is the date of access, meaning the last date that you read or accessed the article. You precede the date with the term accessed. It follows the format of day, month, year, with the month being abbreviated if necessary. The citation as a whole ends with a period. Here's an example of what a citation for an online scholarly journal article would look like. A very similar citation type is that of articles that you find from an online database, but there are some key differences here. Examples of online databases include EBSCOhost, JSTOR, and most of the material found on the John J. Wright Library website. This citation follows the format of the online scholarly journal article until the date section. When citing dates from an online database, you include all publication date information available to you, meaning the day, month, and year of publication in that order, with the month being abbreviated. If the article you are referencing does not include a full listing of the publication date information, you include what is there. The next change comes after the page range, where we include the title of the database that you accessed, italicized, and in title case, followed by a comma. After this, we include a URL or more likely a DOI. Most database articles have a DOI instead of a URL. When you are including a DOI, you must include the HTTPS information beforehand, and this is ended with a period. Finally, you may include the date of access if you wish, but it is not required by MLA for this type of citation. Here we have an example of a database article citation. You may need to cite information that you find on reputable websites. We will be covering how to cite one singular page from a website here. As always, we start with the author name, followed by the title of the page or header, in title case and in quotation marks. Usually this information is found at the top of the web page you are trying to cite. It ends with a period. Next comes the name of the website, italicized and in title case, followed by a comma. The version number is next, if that information is available to you. This is usually found either with the date information or at the very bottom of the web page. If you cannot find this information on the web page, skip to the next part of the citation. Next is the publisher information. Sometimes the website name and the publisher will be the same. In this case, you will omit the publisher information. In my example, you can see that this is the case. Because the National Park Service is both the website name and the publisher, I only include it in the website name section of my citation. Next is the publication date, which follows day, month, and year format with an abbreviated form of the month, followed by a comma. If there is no date found on the web page, you will skip to the next part of the citation. I will say, use some caution when encountering websites with no author or date. Double check that it's a web page that's credible or academic. Next is the URL or DOI linked to this information, and that's ended with a period. And finally, you can include the date that you accessed the web page. This is not required, but it is strongly recommended by MLA to include the date of access. And this is formatted in the same manner as previously shown. Finally, we will quickly go over in-text citations in MLA. In-text citations are very important as they indicate to your reader what your own thoughts are and what ideas you are referencing from others. If there is one author, you include the author's last name and the page number you are citing. If you signal the author's name within your text, as my first example, you will only include the page number in the parentheses. If you are parenthetically citing, include the last name and page number all within parentheses at the end of your sentence. If there are two authors, include both authors' last names and the page number, using the word "and" to separate the names. If your resource has 3 or more authors, you include only the first author's last name, followed by the abbreviation et al. This is again followed by the page number. If there is no author listed, you will use a shortened version of the title of the work instead. The guideline that MLA suggests is shortening the phrase to the major noun of the title. You can see that I've done here for my example. Park history becomes park. If that proves to be difficult, they also recommend that you shorten the title to after the first phrase listed. If it's a shorter work, such as an article, you will use quotations around the title. If it is a longer work, such as a book, you will italicize that instead. And please note that these examples are bolded for clarity, but in your own paper, you will not bold, italicize, or change the font or size of your in-text citations from the rest of your text. And that is the end of my presentation on MLA. Thank you very much for your time. I know that this is a lot of information, but please feel free to come back and watch this as much as necessary. No one memorizes citations. The important thing is to know where you can find that information. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at alyssa.yanello@laroche.edu. I have also included the web address for the Purdue Online Writing Lab MLA Guide, which is the reference I used for this presentation today. If you have questions on MLA styles, such as citations for resources I did not cover today, this is a great place to start. They have many examples of citations and include sample papers as well. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.